If you are anything like me, you know that Q4 is absolutely bonkers. Not only is it show season, it is gift giving season, and people are buying gifts earlier and earlier every year, and it is also wholesale season. I have a large order for 120 tumblers that I am working quickly to get out the door. So if you don't know, or if you're not experienced with rotaries, for most lasers and most rotary setups, it is one tumbler at a time. It's not something that you can do in bulk. So until this job is done, my laser is completely tied up. So I am working quickly so that I can move on to the next job. So I thought I would take you along on how I batch laser engrave tumblers, and maybe you can take some tips and tricks away from my process so that you can apply it to yours. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about sourcing tumblers. There are a lot of different places you can get tumblers. I actually prefer to use JDS Industries. There's a warehouse local to me that I can just run and pick them up and I can order same day. They also ship same day, and they ship free over a certain threshold. Now you do have to have a wholesale account with them. If you're not in a wholesale position, then there are other suppliers like Johnson Plastics Plus. Now, the only drawback to them is they don't have the greatest color selection, and their quality is okay. And then Save a Cup is also a great supplier for tumblers. Now, they have more unique designs, so those are the other two I would recommend other than JDS, but JDS is my go-to. They're local, and they have great quality. Now, a lot of you have reached out to me and told me that you haven't done tumblers yet because you are afraid to use a rotary. Don't be scared. It's not as intimidating as it seems. It's just about your setup. That is the most critical part. Now, there are some calculations that you need to do when it comes to your setup, and the purpose of today's video is not to go into how to set up to do a tumbler. It's to talk about batching and doing things efficiently. There is a great video done by Rob over at Computer Creations. He explains the whole process. There's something called steps per rotation. There's some math involved. And he goes over in detail how to do all those calculations so that you can set up your rotary and get your tumbler right on the first try. So I will leave a link to his video in the description, but I will quickly show you my setup. So I have a Thunder laser. It is a Nova Series 51, and so the bed is 51 by 36, and I have to lower my bed all the way down. I do have the Rotoboss rotary that Thunder sells, and it's great. And so I have to lower my bed all the way down and, obviously make sure it's aligned and things like that. But let me quickly show you the setup, and then we can get into how I batch. So this is my rotary setup. It's actually plugged in over here to a port on my laser. Ignore how dirty my laser is. So it's plugged in here, and in Lightburn, you will tell it to enable rotary, and that tells the machine that you have a device that needs to spin. And so these drive wheels will spin, they'll rotate the tumbler as it's engraving so that it can engrave on that curved surface. So like I said, my laser bed is lowered almost all the way down. You can kind of see, like, this is where it normally is, if it'll focus. And so it's lowered all the way down to allow room for the rotary. So with my particular rotary, you just open this clip and clip it in, and these wheels right here are what rotate it. Now, one of the most important things is to make sure that it's level. So I have this little level that I'm going to sit on top, and mine is actually just a little bit off. So we are going to make some adjustments. Okay, now we're level. Now the next thing you want to do is make sure you are focused. So I'm just going to jog the laser head over here, and are we centered? We're centered. So I find that the 6 millimeters is, the standard for engraving. I find that that is perfect for when I engrave. Some people will engrave at 7 or 8 millimeters, but 6 works great for me. So we are going to set it at 6, and then we are going to run this job. Now the tumblers I buy come individually boxed just like this, and so when I am preparing to do a large order, what I'll do is I unbox all of them. They come in this little foam protective sleeve, and I will take all the lids off and stack those all together so that when I'm putting them back on, I can just easily put them on each tumbler. I will take them all out. Now I already have my rotary set up, so I can put about 6 tumblers off to the right of it. So when one is finished, I will just swap that one out for a new one, hit the go button, and I am on to the next one as far as engraving goes. Now, one thing that I do, and this is a huge tip, if you have the ability, I actually keep the lid to my laser down during this process. The entire process, I never lift the lid. If you have a pass-through door on your laser and you're able to take that off, I highly recommend you do it, because when you are having to raise the lid, take off the tumbler, put on a new tumbler, close the lid, and then hit the go button, it's just unnecessary steps, and it adds up to a lot of time. And when you're doing things in bulk and doing things at wholesale pricing, time is money. So you have to do it as quickly and efficiently as possible. So I actually have the door to my pass-through off my laser. So I can, as soon as that rotary is done spinning, I can grab the tumbler off the rotary, put on the new one, and hit go. I don't have to raise and lower this lid every single time. Now, as always, you need to be wearing PPE. You need goggles and a mask, especially with the laser being open, because you don't want to be inhaling those fumes or any of that fine dust from the particles of the powder coating being blown away. So safety first. Now, when one tumbler comes off the rotary, I will spray it with some LA Awesome and grab a toothbrush, and I will scrub over the engraving. And that gets off all the soot and the laser debris and the powder coating and all of that, and creates a clean engrave. And then I will wipe it off. Now, sometimes, especially on white tumblers, there can be some yellow tinting. So when you're doing, larger engraves where it's just a lot of engraved area, not the finer details, your powder coating can get like a yellow tint to it. And that is because your power settings are on the high side. Most of the time, if it's just a little yellow tinting, you can get that off. If it's deep yellow tinting, there's no hope for that. So make sure you dial in your settings. But if that does happen, I just take some LA Awesome, I do the toothbrush thing, and then I will take a magic eraser and I will scrub that area if there's any yellow tinting. And that usually gets most of it off, or all of it off. Now I can, obviously, if it doesn't get all of it off, I need to adjust my power settings. But that is just a little trick I use to get a little deeper than the toothbrush. Now, I don't have any water in the shop. So what I'll do is, once I get 4 ready to go, I will take those 4, I'll take them into the house and I will wash them. You want to wash off the outside to get off any chemicals. And then you want to wash off the inside. There may be fingerprints or, some debris from the packaging. So I've opened up some of the tumblers and they had some like little powder coating debris or packaging debris. So definitely wash the inside. You're washing the outside anyway. You might as well wash the inside. And so that it's all nice and fresh for your customer. I dry it off with a towel and let it sit. And then once the entire case is done, I will take the big box that they all came in with all the individual boxes inside. I will take that into the house and I will put the lid back on the tumblers. And I'm super fanatical about this. If you guys have watched my channel at all, you know I am all about finishing and packaging. So what I'll do is I'll take the lid and I will put the mouthpiece right in front of the logo, or on top of the logo, so it's in line. And then I'll put it back in the foam sleeve so that the logo is facing front, and I will put all of that back into the box so that when the customer unboxes it, the first thing they're going to be looking for is what the engraving looks like. So let's just go ahead and give it to them. So I put that in the front and then I will box it all up. And then the last thing I do, so my boxes of tumblers have a little label on them that say, the ounce, the color, the item number, so I can order it again. But I like to put my own branding on it so that the customer can place another order if they want to, or if they are reselling them, which is the case for this particular order, whoever the end customer is, they will have my contact information. And if they're interested in ordering custom tumblers or anything like that, they have my information. Any chance you have to brand what you sell and put your business name out there is going to help you increase your sales in the long run. So those are all of the quick and dirty tips I have for you when it comes to batch laser engraving tumblers. I hope you got some value out of this video. If you're new here, welcome. Please poke that like button, poke that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future tips and tricks. And stay tuned because I have something cooking that I am super excited about. It's coming in a couple of weeks. So like I said, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.